Hey yo, what up? What up? It's Lamech with Selah Sports TV back at it again. Chill. I'm gonna drop this real quick video. I did see the final press conference for Tank Davis versus Frank Martin, and no surprises here. No surprises here. Still the same old act. Um, Same old act from alleged face of boxing, Tank Davis. I'm not even gonna play that game. Like the guy's no face of boxing, right? Um, his own behavior, his own words have proven that, right? Uh, let's take a step back for a second and go back just a few weeks ago, maybe about a month, right? And Mr. Turkey Al Sheik is trying to pay this guy. He's trying to line him up for some good fights for once in his fucking career, right? And say, hey, let's get you in the ring with Shakur Stevenson. Let's get you in the ring with Devin Haney. Let's get you in the ring with Teofimo Lopez, right? Let's get you in the ring with Lomachenko. Let's put you in a big fight for once in your career. You've been around over 10 years. You deserve a big fight. How about it? Of course, Tank Davis got offended, right? And he sat down. I can't remember the interviewer. I can't remember who was kissing his ass that day, but um, he sat down and said, "Well, what I go over there? I get paid over here. I got Amazon there. I get paid over here. I got 675 there." Whatever the fuck he said. And yeah, I'm from Baltimore, so all you Baltimore niggas like miss me with the bullshit. Or drop it in the comments. I don't give a fuck. It ain't gonna stop nothing. Yeah, I'm from the city, so you can't even come at me with that bullshit. Anyway, he said, "Yeah, I get paid like that over here. Why would I go?" Here we go, a month later, and he's bitching about promotion with an Amazon deal, right? He's bitching about the same promotion he was bragging about to avoid Mr. Turkey Al Sheik. He's now using it to skip out on press conferences and saying that the promotion is ass and all this other shit. This is the typical. This is baby mama behavior. Baby mama behavior, and by extension, by it being baby mama behavior, it's also in a man, it's fatherless behavior. It's fatherless behavior. A baby mama is always going to need someone to blame, right? Always. They'll always need someone else to blame. Always. So by extension, if you're a man growing up in that, and I'm talking to all you niggas out there, I'm talking to all of y'all. If you grew up in this type of dynamic, it's not the end of the world for you, but you must address it. You must look yourself in the mirror, which ain't easy. You must look yourself in the mirror and address it and fix it. It's fatherless behavior. So he's bragging about his Amazon deal, saying he can get paid like that. He's telling you that he can get paid from this bullshit Amazon deal with no promotion, the same way he would from Mr. Turkey Al Sheik. And a lot of y'all are believing this bullshit, apparently. But let's get to it. They had the final presser because he missed the first one. He didn't show up, right? He didn't show up. And Coach Calvin, bro, like, have some dignity, man. Have some dignity. Like, you see how this dude is behaving. You're supposed to be a father figure to this guy. And this is what it's like he's regressing. He's regressing. When Tank Davis first hit the scene, he barely spoke. And guess what? People like that. In boxing, people like the quiet assassin. You go out there, you don't say much, but when you do big things with your hands. Right? That's where the fame came from. And then somewhere along the line, he started mumbling more and more shit, and people were cheering the shit on. And that's the worst thing you can do for a little badass kid, which is basically what he is at this point. You've seen him, the little badass kid. The worst thing you could do is laugh at one of them lame ass jokes or one of them lame ass pranks. The worst thing you can do is laugh at the shit, because then it ain't gonna stop. He's gonna turn into a fucking clown right in front of your eyes. Like, I'm ashamed of a lot of you brothers out there, man. Like, this guy can basically do no wrong, which is sus to me. Like, nobody should ever get to a point where they can do no wrong in your eyes. Nobody. Not even your fucking parents. Nobody should get too big in your eyes to where you got to co-sign everything they do. Everything they say is okay with you. That's sick. Now add to the fact that y'all don't know this guy from Adam and he don't know you. Now it's just suspect. Y'all wild. Right? Y'all wild. He choke broads out in public in front of everybody. He getting hit and runs with the pregnant lady, right? With the pregnant lady, she asking for help, he dips. Right? He's pushing people off the stage, right? He's pushing people off the stage and shit before the fight. When their back is turned, of course. As soon as they turn their back, he push you. Little bad kid shit. Little badass kitty shit. He co-signs a caught cheater in Ryan Garcia and doubles down on it. Ryan Garcia can't even keep a straight story. First it was this thing that caused him to fail. He's implicating people, right? He's implicating the Haney's in his drug test. He implicates the Haney's. He implicates Victor Conti. He implicates the Paul brothers, right? All those lies fall to the ground. But guess who still believes him? This cocksucker right here with his mouth open. Right? Little bad kid shit. And none of that makes his fans look at him sideways. So fuck y'all too. Right? Because you're not boxing fans, you're man fans. So anyway, they had the final press conference for the Frank Martin versus Tank Davis fight. And it got a little spicy. Between the fighters. For one, first I gotta say, Derek James, man, that guy is the consummate professional. Derek James, nobody can take Derek James professional. Derek James could be a hitman. If he wanted to, he could be a hitman. Like, that guy is the consummate professional, bro. You talk about laser focus. That's Derek James. You know, to sit up there on the same side of the podium as a guy that you're suing, Errol Spence, right? The promoter of your fighter. That's a lot. That's a lot. And but that's the life of a trainer. Trainers are like father figures to these fighters. To a lot of them. Now, Frank Martin, I believe, he has a dad, but you know what I mean. These trainers have a very, very close big brother relationship. How about that? With these fighters. They go through thick and thin with these guys. So he didn't just drop Frank Martin and kick him out of his gym just because he has problems with Errol Spence, his trainer, right? Salute to those guys. We got to get back to that, man. I said this before, like, way too easy to cancel each other. Way too easy to call people butter biscuit eating coons and all this other shit. Right? I'm not even doing that with Tank. I'm just saying I don't like the guy. And I'm diagnosing his behavior as fatherless. That's what I'm doing. But we gotta leave a path back, you know, for when and if somebody change. So I'm sitting here debating, even as I sit here right now, debating if I'm gonna make this a fight prediction video, and I think I just will, because I'll just go ahead and get this out of the way. One thing we know about Tank Davis, he relies on his power. He relies on the one shot. These days, he's relying on one shot. He's not very active in the ring. If you really been watching him and you really know boxing, right? And you're not caught all up in the hype and shit, like, Tank is not a Tank these days. What Tank does these days, he's a very good defensive fighter. That's what he is. He's a defensive fighter. Tank Davis is like a Pernell Whitaker that can punch with one punch. Because Pernell Whitaker, he could punch two, but it's different. He's a defensive fighter with one punch knockout power. Right? Let's just call a spade a spade. But his deficiencies are so glaring that he really cannot go in there winging off shots and like throwing. He can't go in there like that because he's such a small guy. He's tiny, especially at lightweight, right? The guy is tiny. So that's why and he doesn't like Ishak Cruz is a small guy too, shorter than Tank Davis, but his frame, he's just not built like Tank. Ishak Cruz is built like a tank, right? Much more, I want to say, sturdy guy than Tank is. So Ishak Cruz can go in there and fight a picky boo style and absorb punches. Tank Davis can't do that, and I'm sure he's probably learned that in sparring. Right. But anyway, as I say, with damn near all fights, you got to put something on the guy early. You got to put some respect in the guy early. You got to put a little doubt in his mind early. Especially when you're the heavy underdog in the fight. You got to do something early to make him and everybody else say, whoa, this is different. You can't go in there playing it safe. Tank is already playing it safe. There's no need for Frank Martin to go in there and play it safe with this guy. I mean, he's naturally a good defense. Frank Martin, I'm talking about. Naturally a good defensive fighter. So I don't expect him to get out of character. I think Frank Martin is more technically sound than Errol Spence. But other than that, they have a similar style. But Frank Martin, to me, he's just a little bit tidier on the defensive end, right? Doesn't make the mistakes that not as sloppy as Errol Spence. So he needs to bring that to the table, but keep that jab in Tank Davis' face. You got to use his jab. You got to use your jab and just keep punching him. Keep boxing his little fucking head off. So what do I expect to see in this fight? I expect Frank Martin to do just that. I think Frank Martin's going to win this fight, ladies and gentlemen. Um, as far as who's the better fighter, I'm not going to get into that. I would probably say Tank Davis is the better fighter, but I think Tank Davis is due, honestly. He's never really stepped up in competition. And whenever he's had a chance to, he kind of drains guys. And, I'm not here to cape for Ryan Garcia. Fuck him. But you did drain that guy. You did. You still drained him. I understand why. I do. I get it now. But you still did it. You drained him. It'd have been better to just not fight him. Right? But his biggest payday. So I get why you fought him. That was his biggest payday. But this fight here, different. It's a different story. Tank Davis is dependent on you to break down once he starts hitting you with one or two shots. I don't think Frank Martin is that guy. I don't think he's the guy that's gonna just buckle when he gets hit. I don't think so. But we'll see. We will see. I got Frank Martin by split decision, possibly surprise stoppage over Tank Davis. That's what I got. It's no sweat off my back. I mean, if Tank Davis goes out there and wins, if he wins in spectacular fashion, it really, what does it do? I don't have a dog in the fight. That's my prediction, though.